Hello YouTube, another discussion video, only this time on Metallica. I'm going to talk about the original albums and the remasters that were done in the 90s and early 2000s. Metallica's iconic album, Kill 'Em All, originally released in 1983. This album, it's pretty raw. If you buy the original cassette or vinyl record or CD, they're kind of hard to come by. The CDs are. I've seen the cassettes and the original vinyl records in stores. The record sounds great in any format you can pick it up in. If you really want to hear the polished version of the album, you can buy the 1995 CD remaster. I have that, and I have heard the original on vinyl in FLAC format, and I'm sure you guys know what that is. And it sounds great. Has a little more punch to it, and the drums are higher in the mix in the original vinyl edition of the album. I did not keep that though, since I plan on getting the original someday. There's the back of the record, and I do have the reissue on vinyl, which sounds just fine, really. I mean, it sounds different from the 1995 CD version, but Creeping Death single, which I do have in MP3 format, pretty good single. There are better copies of this cover out there on the internet, and I might get it on vinyl because it's pretty affordable on vinyl. I think it's only like $15. And for the cassette that I've found, it's the same price. But Ride the Lightning, I have the CD remaster. I think they were remastered in 2000, but there's no information on it that tell me that. But a good friend of mine that's a Metallica fanatic knows, and it sounds great on any format you can find it in. The original sounds the best. There's Dave Mustaine and James. The back of the cover, or the back of the LP edition of Ride the Lightning. It's a great record. It's a great progression. Polished sound, of course. You're going to get that with Metallica. But it still has a slight raw quality to it if you get the original. I recommend you get the original or the reissue on vinyl. The CD sounds pretty good, but it seems like all they did with these remasters was put them through a digital filter. They didn't really remix them or tinker with the sound at all. So really the remasters on CD are pretty close to the original sound. This one kind of suffered because it has the remaster of this album suffered because it has like the guitars sound like they've been put through an effects box, which they haven't. It's just the digital remastering been done to it, kind of tainted the sound. But other than that, it's a great album. Get it in any format you can. It's on vinyl, CD, cassette, and of course on iTunes. Master of Puppets, another great album. I have the CD remaster, and it sounds just fine, really. All that's been done with this has been put through a digital filter. Honestly, I don't think these have been remastered in the ways that other companies have remastered their catalogs. So this sounds really close to the vinyl version of the album. Pick it up in any version you can. Sounds great. There's really nothing wrong with any of the transfers of it to vinyl, cassette, or CD. Here's some more pictures of the vinyl version of the album. This is the original. There's also the reissue, of course, which sounds fine from what I hear. It's a little doesn't sound quite as crisp, but hey, I mean, pick it up in any format you can. It's an amazing album if you're a fan of the band. Justice. Well, this album's just really dry and raw to the core. James and the band helped mix the album in the final stages of mastering or mixing stage. So honestly, I think this could have been remixed and sound a little more refined and polished. It just sounds very dry, and there's really no high end to the guitars. The drums come through really nice, though. I like that. But I recommend you get a remix of this album. It is, and you can get that online through Pirate Bay. Now, normally I wouldn't say that, but I mean, buy the album, pay for it, and download it. But great album, other than the fact that it's very, very raw. As far as the rest of Metallica's career goes, their 90s albums were pretty decent. Death Magnetic was a great redeeming album for the band. They showed the fans that they could still had it in them, that they could still pull off a great thrash record, and they really did. They kind of blended uh, all their influences, and you can still hear some stuff, not influence, but a similar sound from back from the Black Album and the early days, Kill 'Em all the way up to Master of Puppets. You can hear that those types of sounds, guitar sounds, and just overall sound and production quality are good. James even pulled out his old amp from the Kill 'Em All days to record this album. Well, that's just about the end of this video. Please, guys, no spam, no band wars, no flame wars. I'm not going to tolerate that. If you want to talk about both bands, Megadeth and Metallica, in this video, go right ahead. Constructive criticism, I take that pretty well. If you have any recommendations or requests for any videos, I will record them as soon as possible and get them online. Uh, Also, questions are accepted. I will get back to those. Any and all questions as soon as possible. I kind of have a little bit of a busy schedule working with family and doing odd jobs with them just to help out. So that wraps it up for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.